What is up, everybody? Today we are going to be repairing my family's 2010 Chevrolet Suburban 1500 LT. You see, the other day my mom was driving and she noticed a very strange kind of wobble in the steering as she came down the hill to turn onto a road. And she was like, well, that doesn't seem good. And my dad was driving it in a parking lot with some speed bumps, and he heard this weird rattling noise every time he went over a speed bump. Something was obviously wrong with the front suspension, as that was where the sound was evidently coming from. So I took a peek under there, and I quickly was able to figure out what exactly the problem was. So today we're going to be fixing that problem, and I'm going to get into what it is in a second. But before I do, make sure you go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so you can get notified every time I make a new awesome automotive video.
So guys, if you look right here by this front sway bar link, you'll notice, oh look, that moves kind of a lot. There's a whole lot of movement here, so that's obviously the source of our sound. And if it's causing a little bit of instability, that's obviously the source of the wobbliness as well. So today I'm going to be taking this part out, and I'm going to be putting in a new part that will hopefully last a lot longer than even the stock OEM one. It has polyurethane bushings, and hopefully it's going to last a long time. So we're going to be doing this on both sides. I'm going to go ahead and figure out how to do it best. I think I may have to jack up the car, which is going to stink because my 2.5 ton floor jack is not actually a 2.5 ton, it would seem. Something's wrong with it because we tried to use it on this car the other day for an oil change, and well, suffice it to say that it didn't really do anything. So I'm going to try and figure out how to do this without using the jack if possible, because I don't want to get out a bottle jack and jack this up. That would be terrible. Yeah, let's get into it. I'm going to be using the new tools, haha. Some of you might be wondering, well, why exactly is something wrong here? Well, let's take a closer look. So, there is absolutely no bushing up here anymore. It's just completely free loose. That's definitely not supposed to be there, and this bushing down here is split. So I'm assuming that the same thing happened to the one up here and it just came off. And I am going to jack it up so that I can get the proper spacing. I think that this isn't quite right as it is right now between the sway bar and the wishbone down here, so I'm going to jack it up. It's kind of going to sink, but is what it is.
Alright guys, I've successfully replaced the right side sway bar link. It was a bit challenging in a couple of respects. One, they used thread locker on the nut for the original piece, and so it was quite difficult to get off initially. Fortunately, thanks to my new tools, I was able to get it. I don't think I would have been able to do this, honestly, without them, so that's pretty awesome. And then I was able to get the new piece in. The sway bar wasn't quite making enough space for me to fit the new piece between, so I used the bottle jack to push it upward, and it didn't raise the car up or anything. I was still safe. The car's up on jack stands and everything, so we're okay in that respect. And we were able to get it in, so I'm going to show you guys the process that I went to do it on the left side. Stay tuned.
Alrighty guys, so here's our part in question right here. I'm going to take it off. I'm going to put taking my 1/2 inch drive wrench with the 5/8 inch socket on it, and I'm taking a 5/8 wrench. I'm holding the top nut with the wrench and loosening the bottom with the ratchet. And this is going to take quite a bit of force, and it's going to take quite some time, so I'm going to time lapse it. Here are our two old sway bar links. As you guys can see, they have seen better days for sure. Both of the bushings here are cracked. This one's pretty rotted out and pretty gross. The bottom one's held on pretty okay. Pretty misshapen though. Definitely could look better. So that's why we're replacing it. This is what I'm replacing them with. This is a Moog kit. These are polyurethane bushings, so hopefully they will last better. If you look at these, they're actually completely missing the bushings up top. They're supposed to be bushings here, and they just aren't. So my hope is with these polyurethane bushings that we won't have that problem and that they will last a lot longer. And maybe it'll make the vehicle a little more fun to drive too, who knows. This thing's got a pretty floaty, very floaty steering right now, so maybe this will change that. I don't know, we'll see. Interesting gimmick about this, I guess. Yeah, it's more of a gimmick. This, just like the stock nuts, is 5/8. However, the bolt
has a 9/16 head, so I'm gonna have to put on this 9/16 socket over here to put this on. I'm gonna be doing the same thing I did last time, tightening with the ratchet and holding the top with the wrench. But first, I have to actually slip it through, so let's do that.
Now last time, I had to actually jack up the sway bar here because there wasn't enough space for me to put the new pieces between. I may need to do that again, so if so, I will tell you, but first I'm going to try it without. With each one of these bushings, I have the washer put in with the text facing up, and this is how I'm going to arrange it. So first off, I'm going to start off with the bolt, and then I'm going to slip the bolt through the hole, slide a bushing over it, just like that, and above the bushing, I'm going to put the spacer, and look at that, there's not enough room for another bushing there. So I'm going to have to jack up the sway bar again. Let me go get the dog jack and put that up. Alright, so let's go ahead and slide this under at a point where it'll really help jack it up.
And you gotta be really careful at this part, because if you're not, and you're jacking this up, this isn't the most stable thing, I'm going to be entirely honest. So if you are jacking up the sway bar with the jack, make sure you're watching it. There's no need to go any higher than absolutely necessary with this.
Bingo. Alright, let me grab the nuts. I'm gonna put the other bushing on top, of course, as well. Grab the nut so it holds together while I can take the jack off and actually tighten it for sure. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the bushing on the nut and start tightening. Then I'm gonna hand tighten this as far as it will go. Let down the jack. We can go to town on tightening it. So I've got my 9/16 socket on the wrench, on the ratchet, and then I've got my wrench up top. So I'm gonna hold it up top with the wrench, tightening with the ratchet. And I'm going to go until the bolt is flush with the top nut, and then I'm going to do it 2 more complete turns, and I shouldn't be able to turn. I can't even do that right now, actually. That's kind of funny. I shouldn't be able to turn this center hex spacer when I have all that done. Alright, let's check the top, see if it's flush. And that feels good. Can't turn the center part. Alright, so now 2 more complete turns. There's 1. And there is 2. Alright. That seems pretty good. I'm gonna drop the car down and hopefully nothing blows up. Haha.